Hi friends, it's KT. I might be the only person who's been really excited about this particular blaster, and it's not because I thought that it was going to be like a great blaster or a high-performing blaster. It's really just because it's unique. It's different than anything else that anybody, Hasbro, Nerf, or any of the other companies has done. I haven't seen anything like this. Yeah, this thing is really expensive, and I would love to keep reviewing stuff like this, so if you want to see more reviews, please support the channel in any way you can. Hit the like button on this video, hit subscribe. It really helps me out on YouTube and gets my videos in front of more eyes. Also, by the way, I've been really active on TikTok lately, and that's been super fun. I can format my videos in a different way, and it's a very different way to communicate. So there's not a lot of redundancy between my YouTube channel and my TikTok channel. Is it called a channel? I don't know. I just put videos on it. So if you'd like, please follow me, Family Foam Sport, on TikTok and check out what's going on over there. I also double some of those videos to Instagram, so if you're more comfortable with Instagram, that might be a way to follow me again at Family Foam Sport. So I hope to see you there. Nerf has made a lot of bows. Generally speaking, they're springers. So here is, I haven't used this in a long time. Yeah, there we go. The Strata bow. This is one archetype where it is firing 2 darts at once, apparently. But, you know, it's a springer where you pull back on this and that primes it, and when you release it, it fires the dart. Some of them are string-powered and some of them are spring-powered, but this is a flywheeler. This is a very different thing. It runs on 4 AA's, like most Nerf flywheelers, gets very similar performance to most Nerf flywheelers, and it's actually magazine fed like most Nerf flywheelers. We'll get to the magazine situation in a little bit. We have never seen something like this where they've taken the like Strife style flywheel power system that runs batteries and put it into a bow form factor. Now, my initial reaction to this, my just number one, the first thing, it feels great. It's substantial. The color choices are great. They made multiple plastic parts in different colors to make it look good on both sides. There's very little paint on it, so the fact that there's paint on only one side doesn't really feel bad at all. And mostly, it just compares really favorably to the Minecraft crossbow. So my crossbow I've painted. This painting experiment actually came out pretty well. I wish it looked like this when it came out. You've still got an orange tip, it's very safe. But honestly, they could have done it like this. It could have been like white and yellow with different parts up top. They didn't do that. I don't know how popular Minecraft Dungeons is. I know that my kids play Minecraft, but they're not really familiar with the Minecraft Dungeons universe. But obviously it's, you know, popular enough that Nerf was willing to take on the property to make things with. In terms of aesthetics, in terms of look and feel, in terms of how it feels in the hand, I'm really impressed with this bow. Now, the Sabrewing comes in the box in 2 pieces with the cord attached between the 2 pieces. There is a little hang tag on it that says not to cut the string, which would be pretty unfortunate. Once you take it out, you click those 2 pieces together, and then you open up this battery tray, pop 4 AA's in there, and close it up, and it's ready to go. The only other thing to do is load the magazine. Now, the magazine is a really interesting thing. The mag release is here. There is almost no way, if you're... I was like trying to think about this like tactically, like if you're standing here and you're using the bow, I think I figured out it makes more sense to hold it with my right hand, and you're using the bow and you're shooting and you're shooting and shooting and you need to change your magazine, you pretty much have to like hold the top part of the bow like this to press the mag release and then pull it out. The mag release, the button doesn't move very far. It's just kind of like spongy and doesn't have a lot of feedback, but it definitely makes a difference, right? Like the magazine won't come out and you press it and it does slide out. But on a blaster like this, I'm not going to stand here and complain about the mag release. It's not fitting some archetype of a blaster that I'm used to. I'm not using it and doing tactical reloads. Additionally, I'm not doing tactical reloads for a bigger, more important reason, which is this magazine looks very cool. Do not get me wrong. It fits in this blaster perfectly, disappears into the blaster, and just looks awesome. Unfortunately, because it is such a weird shape, the magwell is designed to fit it pretty exactly. If you look at this magwell shape and compare it to, I don't know, whatever, here's a rapid strike, it's the same shape. It's got the little guide things down there. You would think that it would be compatible with other magazines. Nerf has been so good about making blasters compatible with magazines from other blasters. I have really bad news. I've gone through like every magazine in my collection. They just don't go in. The little lip that lines up on most blasters catches right here on the edge. It's actually kind of like trying to push the blaster apart. They don't go anywhere near far enough into the blaster to actually lock in place and be aligned with the pusher. So I tried like a shorter magazine. Here's a 6-round magazine. The lip on this one actually clears the thing, but it's still just nowhere near the actual pusher mechanism. Here's a dart zone magazine. No different, doesn't fit at all. And the worker 22-round magazines, absolutely no chance. It like looks like it's fitting in there, but it's not. It's nowhere near the actual mechanism. The only magazine I found, other than the original, that fits in this blaster is a Busby 8-round magazine. They don't have those ridges that the other ones have on them, and they will, with a little bit of force, drop all the way in, and you can actually fire darts out of it and they work correctly. So if you want to run this in a game, you're either going to have to buy multiple of these and carry a bunch of those white magazines around, or you're going to have to invest in Busby 8-round magazines, because currently I don't know of anything else they'll take. Now, it might be possible to modify this to fit other magazines, but considering how nice the aesthetics are on this, you would have to do a very careful job of doing that modification to wind up with a result that looks good enough to warrant doing the work and to make you actually still want to run it in a game. There's very little point in having a mag-fed blaster if you can't swap the magazines. So I'm not entirely sure why this blaster is mag-fed at all. And they have other options. I just also got the Fortnite Compact SMG, and this has a flop open door with an internal magazine, and this takes 8 rounds, and you just shove the darts in here. I feel like that would have been a much better system for a blaster like this. I love the idea of running around and just stuffing more darts in the top and being able to shoot them. Okay, wait. So I just stood here and I said like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the darts. That's the next thing we gotta talk about. It's a bow, right? How do you shoot a bow? You pull the string and it revs up and you release it and it flings the dart? No, you hold down the trigger and that's the rev switch, and then you pull and release this to fire? No, this is the rev switch and you hold it back and pull the trigger to fire. It is more or less the opposite of how a bow works. It's very confusing, and I'm actually still trying to figure out which hand I want to hold it in. It's very strange. Like, you want to aim with the hand holding the grip, so maybe I hold it with my right hand and then do this. But then I'm just like, why is this a bow? Like, why am I not... I understand mechanically why it was done that way. In order for it to work the way I want it to work, this would be easy to make into a rev switch. Making it operate a pusher would either have to be, this activates a switch and that triggers a solenoid pusher, or it would have to pull back a pusher that's then sprung, but then has a return spring on. Like, the pusher would be retracted for the dart to come into the dart gate. When you pull on the string, release it, it would have to push the pusher and then retract the pusher again. Understandably, a much more complicated mechanism. I feel like Hasbro has the resources to do that. I wish they did it the other way. I wish they had figured it out and spent the effort. Especially for over $40. That's another great thing we should talk about here. This thing is expensive. In terms of the build quality, this is worth it. In terms of just like how this feels and how this looks, if you're a Minecraft collector, if you want this on your shelf, it feels like it's worth over $40. But that's still a lot of money to spend on a toy that feels mechanically not that well thought out, I guess. Let me awkwardly cut to some chronograph footage for you real quick. Again, pull on this string and it revs up. I'm holding it upside down. That is funny. It hadn't occurred to me how symmetrical this is. Alright, I also keep holding it in my left hand and pulling the bow with my right hand because when I hold a bow, and I'm not an archer, but when I hold a bow, I feel like I should be drawing the string with my right hand. That's my strong hand. But it actually makes more sense to pull the trigger with my right hand, and I aim with my right hand. This is very weird. Okay, so we're gonna rev. Seeing errors again. 60. 58. 63, 64, 66. I'm gonna do rapid fire here. Ah, dropped all the way down to 36. There is a relatively long amount of barrel in this blaster, going back to the flywheels, which I think has something to do with the increased drop-off with rapid fire. It does work though. I'm not having any problems jamming or anything, and that's something. One of the things I've been trying to figure out about the Sabrewing is how to fire it. It's awkward enough that I'm not 100% sure the right way to hold it, the best way to balance it, which hand to put it in. So I brought this out to the range, AKA my yard. So I brought this outside. I've got this wither skeleton set up over there. We're gonna try and hit it from 30 feet. I've got 8 Adventure Force waffles in here. The skeleton just fell over. That's cool. It's definitely pretty breezy right now, so we're just gonna get right to it. Let's see what we can actually hit with this. So I'm holding it with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand. We're gonna try that first. Okay. Took some adjusting, but you know, you're aiming with that hand, whichever hand is holding the grip. Now I'm putting in 4 Adventure Force waffle head darts, followed by 4 red elite darts. So we'll see how those behave differently. I'm also gonna switch hands. So now I'm gonna hold with my right hand, which is my primary hand. God, elite darts. They are a thing, aren't they? So I should also note, I'm basically barely making this 30-foot range. I'm angling my shots up slightly. So this is about the engagement range that you can expect out of the Sabrewing. A couple other things I should cover on this, a couple little details. There is a jam door on this right here, which accesses the magazine well. Also, this grip is obviously not a traditional blaster grip. My expectations of it are very different from a normal grip. I've been carrying this around for a few hours off and on now, and it feels fine. It looks awkward, right? Like my hand on this, naturally I have 2 fingers on this trigger. So that's a little weird. The fact that the trigger is just this sort of button, and this is a thing you're gonna be interacting with, it looks really strange. It's actually pretty comfortable. Don't expect it to feel like a normal bow. Don't expect it to feel like a normal blaster. It is just kind of its own thing. My hand feels reasonably comfortable on it. It is curved in all the right places. They did the same kind of thing with the hammer where they kept the grid thing going, but this is a nice straight line, so it's actually quite comfortable. So my overall impression on this is honestly really positive, despite the significant issues that it has. The magazine thing means that it's basically not usable in a game situation. I just can't take this to anything unless I just load up a bunch of Busby 8-round magazines, I guess, so that I can throw those in there and shoot it. And honestly, I will probably do that in an Offals round. So even though I'm standing here and telling you I can't take it to a game, you can look forward to me taking it to a game, because I'm probably going to figure out how to do it anyway. It feels very weird to shoot, because the mechanism of doing this is just strange. But the build quality is so high, and I think the play value on this is so high, and just the uniqueness of it, makes me really excited about stuff like this. And it makes me excited about the future of the big companies making stuff for this hobby and for this sport. I think that this is just unique and fun and ridiculous, and I want to see more of that coming out of Hasbro. I want to see less straight reskins and more creative ways to put things together. If you are into Minecraft enough, I definitely recommend this blaster. Otherwise, it's probably too expensive and probably not worth it. So that's all I've got on that. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and hit subscribe, and I will definitely see you on the field. This is so weird. I haven't done horizontal video in so long. TikTok is weird. Hey friends, it's KT, and I always do that. Hey friends, it's KT, and. Hey friends, it's KT, and. Very solid together. Do I look like a joke to you? First, okay. First of all, the dragon bow thing, whatever it was called.